Come in.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Alexander Davis, Complete Document Solutions. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
May I
Name's
take a
Pat, by the way.
Thank you. May I take a seat?
Absolutely.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Well, I appreciate you meeting with me today. I know I only have 15 minutes. Is that still a good time for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot going on, but we'll set aside the 15.
Excellent. So I'd like to go over just a couple things with you, just kind of set an agenda for this meeting, just so I can make the best use of your 15 minutes. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, firstly, your relationship with James Gordon. Then I'd like to talk to you a little bit about yourself, your experience with PNC, and then your time as a IT administrator and just some of the different things that you encounter as an IT administrator, some of the issues that you have. I'd like to talk to you about some of the tech that you have, and then I'd like to show you some of the different options that we have that I feel like may be good solutions to some of your issues. Does that sound okay with you?
Okay.
All right. So, firstly, I'd love to hear about your relationship with Mr. Gordon, if you don't mind talking a little bit about that.
Oh, no. We've known each other for years. Our kids, grew up playing sports together, and so
Okay.
we get together, and both of us are in IT, so that naturally led to a relationship. We're good friends and call and compare notes all the time. So
Excellent.
Yeah, good man.
Well, he speaks very highly of you. I've been working with him for about 5 months now. My career, in the 3 years that I've been with CDS, I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of different places, and especially law firms. But James really spoke very highly of you, and that's why I'm here today. That's why I gave you the call last week. And like I said, I think it's a great opportunity that we have here today, and can't thank you enough for it. So nextly, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about just yourself. Learn a little bit more about you. I know you've been here for 5 years, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So could you tell me a little bit about your job and what you do and everything?
Yeah, so I am responsible for a lot of different things. Wear a lot of
Okay.
different hats here, operations, but IT obviously is an integral part of any law firm these days. So
obviously.
That's been my, I won't say singular focus, but that's been one of the biggest focuses of things on my plate.
Okay. So what are some of the different things that you deal with on, let's say, a weekly basis? So some of the different problems, issues, or exciting things you deal with on it.
It's always exciting.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you've ever worked directly with lawyers, but they're demanding folks.
They are.
They are billable at very high dollar amounts. So any minute that they're not productive or billable is a minute that I'm going to get a phone call about.
I can completely understand that.
So
Okay. All right. Well, so I'm curious, what are some of the technology that you have here in the office? Or correct me if I'm wrong, you have 2 offices, correct?
we do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
And about how fast would you say the company is growing? I know it's been quite a quick 5 years for you, but do you see growing past those 2 offices in the future?
Yeah, I think this office we're about 40 lawyers. The other offices, which is our newer one, is down in Summit, and we've got 20 lawyers, and I gotta anticipate in 2 years they're gonna have 40.
Okay. So around how often do you do a technological refresh or update your technology to kind of keep up with the demands of the office?
When we have to.
Okay.
Our IT is relatively new and good shape. Our copiers are getting towards the end of the contract.
Okay. And who's your contract with, if you don't mind me asking?
I just prefer not to talk about it. I'd rather focus on what the options are in the future.
All right.
I mean, it's still an option to renew with the current company, but I thought it's best to figure it out. So do you work for Xerox, right?
So CDS is a subcontractor for Xerox. We're a distributor, if you will. And so what we do is we act as a more personable interface for Xerox's customers. So that way we can go in and be able to offer you the product and be able to speak with you and tailor our product to your needs to find the best product for you. So your productivity never wavers. So that's what makes us different than, let's say, Lexmark or any of the other marquee printing companies out there, is our personable service that we try to provide to you based on our products.
Yeah, I was just confused because when we talked on the phone about these smart printers
Yes, sir.
that you mentioned, I thought maybe you worked for Xerox.
No, sir. Well, like I said, it's as a distributor. We work solely with Xerox at CDS, but I will never tell you that the different products that are available out there aren't good products. What I'll tell you is what we provide to you is what makes us different, and that's what makes us stand out above the crowd.
Okay.
So, with some of the different devices that you have, and in this case, printers, what are some of the things that you look for when you're renewing your contracts or purchasing new devices? What are some of the like requirements?
Well, you don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
We've had these printers for almost 5 years now.
Okay.
So I'm sure technology has changed dramatically since we purchased them, and there are things that these things do now that I'm not even aware of. Cost is always a big issue.
Okay.
I see the toner costs left and right, from different offices. I've got guys that are printing 30. We print about 30,000 pages a month, and the costs are just insane.
Okay. So, do you spend, out of a given week, let's say, how much time do you spend working with the attorneys to kind of get them up to speed on, how to operate some of these printers? I mean, I know certain copiers, today with as many functions as they have are not the easiest to use. So, about how much time in a given week, let's say out of a 40-hour work week, do you spend working with different attorneys to try and get them up to speed?
I can't give you a day amount or an hour amount, but it's way more than I would like to.
Okay.
Just we got a lot of, let's face it, the older lawyers are even older than me, and they just, the new technology is not. I mean, I'm going to get some pushback if I even switch out the copiers that we have now.
Really?
Well, yeah, they're used to walking up and pushing buttons, and all of a sudden now they got to do something different, and lawyers don't like change.
No, they don't. But I think, as you said, you spend way more time doing that than you need to. And, you mentioned earlier that, attorneys, their time is valuable because of the amount of money that they, command in an hour. But the entire business doesn't operate unless everybody is doing everything at max efficiency. And if you're spending your time doing something like that, then that's taking you and that's taking money away from the business at the end of the day. And I'm sure you can see that.
Yeah.
So, what are some other things? I've done some work with some other law firms, and I would like to ask you about, like security issues. Have you ever encountered any of those?
Don't get me started. A couple months ago, we got whacked with a ransomware virus.
Really?
And it shut us down. It cost about $25,000.
How long were you shut down for, if you don't mind me asking?
We were down for the better part of a couple of days, and it almost cost me my job.
I am very sorry to hear that. What were some of let me rephrase that. On the current printers that you have, are there any security measures in place to prevent problems such as those?
Apparently not.
Or if they are, I guess not as strong as they need to be.
If they are, they weren't. They certainly weren't enabled.
Okay. Are you familiar with McAfee security software?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Alrighty. And the other thing I would ask you is, what is are you the ultimate decision maker with purchasing new devices? I know that you said you were going to get some pushback, but that's mostly from the attorneys. So are you the ultimate decision maker?
Yeah, the pushback is only because they're going to have to push different buttons, and
Okay.
I'm going to have to go over and hold their hands and show them which buttons to push. But yeah, in terms of the acquisition,
Okay.
you're looking at them.
Okay. Are both of your offices on the same network?
Yes.
They are. Okay, so they are connected. And does that include the printers or the exclusive of the printers?
Yes, the printers are on the network.
There. Okay. So if you don't mind, I'd like to transition into talking to you a little bit about our products, because I already have a couple products in mind that I feel like would be great solutions for you.
Okay.
I'd like to talk to you about just some of the details about them, and then I'd like to get some questions from you so I can help understand a little bit more about what you see in our products, what you'd like to have differently than maybe some of the stuff you have now. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, sure.
And just to make sure I'm tracking on everything, you mentioned security, big issue, and very vital. Price sensitive, of course, and then just the ease of use and low maintenance would be marquee because of the sheer amount of work that you put out.
Yep.
Okay, so the first printer that I'm going to recommend to you is the B8000, and it's the Altalink. What this does is it has a production cycle of 150,000 pages within a given toner cycle. So that means before the toner will run out, you'll be able to run 150,000 pages out of that printer. So that would be marquee for being able to keep up with the demands of your office, which you said you're printing out close to 30,000 a month. So I know you mentioned that your office is growing, obviously 150,000 is 5 times more than 30,000, but with the needs of your office continuing to grow, I feel like that might be a great addition to your office in order to be able to keep up with the constant work capabilities.
Okay.
As well, I know security was a big option for you, and this actually comes on all of our printers. We send every printer out automatically loaded with McAfee security software. What this does is it's an antivirus software. You can find it on computers, phones, and we have struck a deal with McAfee to include it on our printers.
Okay.
So whenever you have an attorney out in the field, if you have an attorney in another office, or if you have an attorney in office and they want to send documents from computer or phone to printer, that security software prevents any viruses or ransomware, as you experience, from coming in and taking any of the documents, because you said you lost thousands of dollars and many clients because of that ransomware, correct?
Yep.
This would prevent that. As well, all of our printers come preloaded with the passcode security. So what that does is, have you ever had documents go missing or disappearing randomly because someone maybe picked it up mistakenly?
Oh, it happens everywhere, doesn't it?
It does, but in the law firm, that's got to be incredibly more sensitive due to the sensitive nature of the documents.
Yes, sure.
So, one thing that we have is this security software, and it acts as a preventative. So, some random attorney would not come up to the printer and take the document that, let's say, you printed out and you were en route to pick up. What this does is you'll send the document to the printer, you'll walk up to the printer, and you'll enter a username and passcode, either custom suited to you or suited to the office, whichever you choose, be able to enter it, then take out the document from the printer. Until then, it waits in the cloud, protected by the McAfee security software. So it's kind of that double-edged sword of security, enabling that documents are not going to be lost in transmission nor lost upon delivery, which is incredibly vital. So that keeps the security of your documents where it needs to be. And I'm sure you can see that.
Yeah.
As well, I know you talked about cost. Our printers, on average, run around $15,000. It kind of balances between the different levels of productivity that you would like. We have, one printer that's a black and white and color printer, and its average printing toner cycle is around 40,000 copies. So that would be a great addition to your office, well able to handle the workload. But if your business would like to grow more in the future, as we can both predict it might, we might want something a little bit more sturdy. The B8000 printer that I mentioned earlier handles 150,000 copies. However, it's only black and white. Do you often deal with color?
Well, we do when we do client proposals.
Okay.
But you talk about cost. That's one of the issues that we have. Is I see people printing internal documents in color and think, that's costing me money. I don't need that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what to do.
Well, I think at the end of the day, these printers are investments. At the end of the day, and yes, that a $15,000 cost is something that is different from normal. But what it allows you to do, it is allowing you to be able to increase your productivity over time and be able to get the most out of your attorneys and out of your time, so that you can go around and help other people and be able to make the most money for the law firm at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, it's all about billable hours.
Yes, sir, it is. So what I'd like to do today is I'd like to go back to my office, and I'd like to be able to draw up a personalized proposal for you and deliver it to you sometime early next week. I don't know if there's a certain meeting time that works best for you.
How about Thursday? Why don't you come over for Thanksgiving?
Okay, I can do that. If you don't mind, I'd like to.
Just kidding.
Well, I'd like to give you a call early next week, so we can schedule a time, and I'd like to deliver the proposal in person, if that's okay.
Okay.
If there's anyone else you'd like to come in on that meeting, I would be more than welcome to speak with them as well. Or if that's something you'd rather do personally, I totally understand. But I'd like to deliver you a proposal with a couple different payment plans that I feel like would be very beneficial to your company. Does that sound like something you might be interested in?
That sounds great.
Okay. I'd like to hand you my business card, so that way you can reach out to me sometime next week.
Great.
And Mr. Jones, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity, and I look forward to doing business with you. Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
You
Tell
too.
Jim I said hi.
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you.